And I think like I'm just in this place where I'm just like, I don't want to do all of that. Like I'm not saying I will never put on makeup, of course I am, but like I'm just in this place where I just like, I just want to show up as me and be me, myself, and be what I feel in that moment. And right now this is what I'm feeling like. Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Latanya, and this is video 2 in my 42 video challenge. I'm challenging myself to create 42 videos over the next 90 days. Why 42? Because this week is actually my 42nd birthday, and I am in a period of starting over and reinventing myself once again. This is not my first time at it, and I felt like this would be the perfect time to really document the changes and the transitions that I'm making in my life and how I'm doing that, and the systems and the tools that I've used before that I'm going to use again to kind of make this shift and take you guys along the journey with me. If you'd like to follow along, please subscribe and continue with me on this journey. So in this video I wanted to talk about 5 tips for reinventing yourself, as I am at the semi-beginning of this journey. This is kind of the path I've been on all of 2026, so I'm going to share what I've been doing so far. But if I had to give 5 tips for really starting to reinvent your life, these would be the ones that I would give. First, I want to start off with some things that just have come up for me in the past couple months as I've been on this journey. Is that, you know, I feel like life right now, like the world right now, is really, it could really easily suck the joy out of life, right? Like, you know, there's so many things that we have to be thinking about and be concerned about and be worried about. But I think that I've been really adamant and like focused on bringing joy back into my life, and surprisingly that's looked like a little bit of nostalgia. I am a mother of 2, right? I think I mentioned that in my first video, and just wanting to do more things with my kids, and like some of the things that I used to do from my childhood. We're going outside more. My kids love outside anyway. We do spend a good amount of time outdoors. So I feel like today a lot of kids are not outside as much, and so I'm always trying to think of like ways to get outside and do things and just bring more joy back into living, you know what I mean? And I've just been having like a lot of nostalgia as I've kind of been thinking more about that and just kind of becoming more in tune with my inner child, I guess, or just being more playful and whimsical. And I actually wrote about this. I wasn't even planning on mentioning this, but since we're here and we're recording this video, right? I had wrote about this on my Substack. I'll leave the link below about bringing more whimsy into my life. And I think the thought to write that just came to me because this is just kind of something that's been coming up as I've been being more, you know, focused on like joy, like being more intentional about joy. That's the word I'm looking for. Being more intentional about bringing joy into my life. So if you're interested in reading that, I'll leave the link below so you can look at that. So let's get into the 5 things. Let's get into the 5 tips for reinventing yourself. This is not going to be like things I want you to go out and buy or things I want you to, it's really like the inner work. I think this is the stuff that you should take the time to really go inward and look at before you start really, or even as you are making those changes in your life, in order to know that this like is the right thing for you. I have my trusty little notes here. So the first thing is to not depend on anyone to give you the life that you want, okay? Don't depend on anyone to give you the life that you want. You must depend on yourself. I think that in this climate where, you know, people have lost jobs, life is changing, inflation, gas prices are high right now, food prices are high right now. We know that life can change at the drop of a hat. Like, you know, I think the past decade could tell us that, right? We've lived through a pandemic, we lived through so many things that, and if you were a millennial, your whole adult life has just been like one crazy thing after the next. So I think that you can't expect like things like the American dream, or, you know, if I do this, if I go to school, if I get the degrees, if I do the things, then this should be what I get. You're not entitled to anything. Nothing is gonna be handed to you. Even your hard work, even all of that effort, even all of that work that you've done to build yourself up, like, it could mean nothing, which sucks because we're living in an age of AI and people are talking about AI taking jobs. Who knows what the future is gonna look like? You know what I mean? So There are people who have full engineering degrees who can't get work. There are people with master's degrees and PhDs who can't find work. And so we really have to be dependent on ourselves to create the life that we want. And I know that's a deeper topic. I feel like this could be a whole video because I know that's very easier said than done, and it sounds very simplified, but I think where we're headed in the future, you're gonna have to create it for yourself, and that's just what it is. And that brings me to number 2, which is you have to understand that nothing is stable, everything is a risk, and so the best bet is on you. The best bet is on yourself. It's better to invest in yourself, invest in your future, invest in what you want to build. That is your own, and no one can take from you, okay? You have to be willing to build your own thing at this point. At this point where we are now, you have to be willing to build your own thing. And so the best risk is you. The best risk to take is on yourself and building your own thing, because what can you lose? You know, if jobs are hard to find, if nothing's really stable, what's the risk really? Right now, what's the risk in starting to build your own thing? Is there risk involved? But I think, like, of course there's some risk involved, but I think that, you know, we've been socially conditioned to be scared of like doing it on our own, and that feeling like such a big risk that we just kind of steer clear of it. Let me just find a job with some good benefits and I can just be okay. But I think we're beyond that, right? I think I'm in a position where I'm a little less scared of that because I've been an entrepreneur since 2015, like really entrepreneur. And even before that, I've always had a side hustle since I was in high school. I've always been side hustling. So I've worked a 9-to-5, and part of that was that the fear of betting on myself, right? So I've gone into entrepreneurship full time and went back to work full time because I got scared. I did both for a while because I just didn't want to let go of the 9-to-5 out of fear. And now here I am after a layoff, after being laid off, rebuilding as an entrepreneur, right? Because a lot of what I built I didn't have much focus on it when I had my 9-to-5 and was putting all my effort and energy into that. And so my businesses didn't perform as well as they could have had I put my energy into that. And I probably would be in a way better place, you know, had I done that. If I had known. Of course I couldn't have known how things would turn out, but if I had known that, I could have been in a different place. So I think that that's really important, to risk it on you. If you're gonna risk it on yourself. Number 3, to really reinvent yourself in 2026 is to unlearn the corporate mindset. Like I said, having been an entrepreneur for a while, I think part of the reason why I kept flip-flopping and going back and forth between entrepreneurship and like working a 9-to-5 was because I still did have a lot of that corporate mindset. I still was living in some of that. I think I unlearned a lot of it while I was as an entrepreneur, but it is a journey to getting out of that because you've been used to it for so long, and so it does take some time, but you have to really start thinking like an entrepreneur, even if you're on a 9-to-5. And I think part of the when I did go back to work, I did have a more entrepreneurial mindset even as I was working in corporate. I did have more of an entrepreneur mindset, and I think that really helped me. But it's not even so much about having an entrepreneur mindset. That's one example, right? As an entrepreneur, as I'm saying, unlearn the corporate mindset. It's really about like thinking about what you need and what you desire first. Even if you decide to go back into a 9-to-5, even if you are in a 9-to-5 right now, right? I think that thinking about what your desires are, as big and as crazy as they may sound, and really aligning what you do and the things that you move forward with in your life to what that is. And it's hard to do with that corporate mindset in you because the corporate mindset is really about others first, right? What do everyone else need from me versus what you need, right? And I'm really saying that you should like focus on what you need first, what you desire, what you want your life to look like, and then fill in the gaps so that you can have that, whether it be through entrepreneurship, whether it be in another 9-to-5, whatever it is. But find that path, whether it be training, whether it be going back to school, whether it be, you know, any of those things. I'm not here to tell anybody exactly how to live their life. I have my feelings about, you know, education, and I have my feelings about the 9-to-5, you know, workforce and all of that. But I'm not saying that's not what anybody should want. I'm saying that you should want to create the life that you want for you, however that may look. So I'm hoping that as you come along this journey with me, you will see that, you know, how you can create what you want for yourself that looks right for you, that is right for you, versus like, just, I'm nobody's guru. I'm not trying to tell you that you got to live your life exactly like this. I'm trying to just take you along with me so you can create something of your own, or make tweaks to whatever you're doing on your own. So the last two that I'm going to mention, I think, are when you are in a place of reinvention, I believe it's very important to grieve your losses. I think that people only think about grief as, you know, losing a human being or, you know, someone close to you, but like, grief comes in all kinds of loss, right? And sometimes the loss of a career, the loss of, you know, a lifestyle, the just major changes that you've had to make in your life can come with some grief. And you should let that grief, acknowledge that grief, and let that grief play out. I think that's very important to reinventing yourself, because you end up holding on to the stuff that you can't really change, that's already happened, but you haven't really made peace with it. I think it's really imperative to really changing your life and reinventing your life and starting fresh is to give yourself room to grieve what didn't happen, what you wish you had done better, what you wish you had done differently, because, you know, those things can really pain us and cause us, you know, real grief and trauma, and you should take the time to give that space, okay? And the other thing is healing from burnout. I was laid off end of last February, and it was so hard for me to really like get the motivation to really even create more videos, to even rebuild my business. I think I jumped into it for a while and things started picking up, but like, my heart wasn't in it. And I think that I was just so exhausted and so burnt out from like everything that I had been doing for the past few years before that my body just needed rest. Like my mind, my body, my spirit just needed rest. I needed to just let myself heal and grieve. And now I feel like I'm in a better place where I can start creating again and like building something new, and I'm excited about it. And I think for a long time after the layoff, like I just couldn't get excited about something. I just felt so worn out. I was dealing with anxiety. I was having panic attacks at one point. It was just a lot. And so if I could go back, I would have not tried to push myself as much as I was, because I know that I can be, you know, really ambitious and really resilient, and I know that about myself. And I think that's why I kept pushing myself, because I was just like, what's going on? Like, normally you could just get on this, but I couldn't. I just couldn't, and I couldn't understand why. And now in hindsight, I can say that like I was really just burnt out and needed to give myself a minute to get it together. And I'm glad that I did, because I wish I had done it sooner, but I think timing is everything. And so I'm glad to be where I am right now, and in a better healed place, and full of energy and all of those things. I've also lost about 30 pounds. I'll be trying to watch the scale, y'all, because the scale would drive me nuts, but it's around 30 pounds. And just been focusing on eating better and really taking care of myself. I haven't really been on social media. I mentioned that in the last video. And so, yeah, I've just been focused on me and on my health and on, you know, healing. That's it. And so, yeah, those are my 5 tips, guys. I think, you know, if I had to summarize it, it's really to bet on yourself, know what you want, give yourself space to feel and heal from all the things that you're experiencing right now. I think if I had to say, like in the past, when making videos, I've always been like so focused on like it being really aesthetic and all that. You see me on here with no makeup, no nothing, which I don't think I've ever made a video with no makeup on, y'all. I don't think I've ever done that. But y'all seeing, you know, the flawed skin, everything. All I did is put on some lip gloss. I don't have concealer on. I'm just like here. My hair's not done. I'm about to go to the gym. And I think like I'm just in this place where I'm just like, I don't want to do all of that. Like I'm not saying I will never put on makeup. Of course I am. But like I'm just in this place where I just like, I just want to show up as me and be me, myself, and be what I feel in that moment. And right now, this is what I'm feeling like. You know what I mean? This is what I'm feeling like. I'm not trying to be, you know, perfect for anybody, or that's the corporate mindset stuff that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That I had to like let it go. Like I'm not saying you shouldn't show up as your best self. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, you know, appearance doesn't matter. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that I do miss the days, you know, back in like 2012 when you used to just like post the cool shit happening in your life on Instagram rather than it being like content. Everything's content now. It's not just you know, sharing a part of your day that's just cool to you. It's like we gotta make sure we plan and storyboard and make sure this is the and that's fine if that's what you want to do. I'm not no big content creator. I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to be. I don't necessarily look to being an influencer or anything like that. I really just want to like talk about real shit and be authentic on here. I think some of the people that I've even followed on social media, I just can't even relate anymore, because it's just like I want to say they feel out of touch to me, but I can't even say that because that's their life and that's the life that they're living, and that's fine. But I just feel like, I don't know, some of the stuff I see just feels tone deaf, and I just don't want to put more shit like that out there. I just don't want to put more, you know, lollipop bubblegum shit. I just don't. Like, I'm just past that, and I cannot. It would drive me nuts to have to make content like that every damn day, or you know, or this 42 video challenge that I'm creating for myself to be more consistent and to, you know, be more active, because I do want to make these videos for you guys. I couldn't imagine having to make videos like that. And there was a time where I wanted to make videos like that. There was a time where that's what I lived for, and I'm like, you know, I could just see how much I've changed over time. And so yeah, I hope you guys, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope these tips can, you know, help you out and will mean something to you. But yeah, if you want to just come along as I attempt to create cool shit, you know, subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I will see you in the next video.